history class, that is 7th standard history. The first lesson is the Vijayanagar Empire. Yes, yesterday, in the previous video, I have talked about the Vijayanagar Empire. It is the very greatest empire and it is a well-known empire, very famous. And the kings of the Vijayanagar Empire, they have established their kingdom. They have elaborated their kingdom from down to the south and to the north. Yes. Now here today let us start with the here how many dynasties ruled the Vijayanagar Empire? The four dynasties. Four dynasties ruled the Vijayanagar Empire. That is the Sangam dynasty, Saduva dynasty, the Tuluva dynasty, and the Arvidu dynasty. Yes, these four dynasties ruled the Vijayanagar Empire for nearly to so many centuries. Yes, till from till 15th century. Yes, now Rakkasa Tangadi battle. What is Rakkasa Tangadi battle? It is a battle. It was a war took place. Yes, it was a well-known and a very special war. After in this war, what happened? Let us see. After Krishnadevaraya, Achyutaraya, and the Sadashivaraya ruled Vijayanagara. Since Sadashivaraya was minor and unable to rule, Ramaraya of Arvidu dynasty, son-in-law of Krishnadevaraya, took the whole responsibility. Here, after Krishnadevaraya's end, when he died, the next person took over the throne, that is the Achyutaraya from 1530 to 1542 CE. And after Achyutaraya, the Sadashivaraya also, they both together took the empire. Now ruled the Vijayanagara. Since Sadashivaraya was a minor. Yes, he was minor, means he was below the age, 18 years age. He was not able to become a king. So what happened? Ramaraya of Arvidu dynasty, he was a son-in-law of Krishnadevaraya. Krishnadevaraya's son-in-law, means he was a son-in-law of Krishnadevaraya. He took to the responsibility of the kingdom. And what he did, he expanded. He did a responsible administration and also he expanded the kingdom, Vijayanagara kingdom, and made it rich. And he made that kingdom very rich. The number of enemies also increased. When the king attacked so many people, naturally the enemies will increase. Yes, now next the Deccan Sultan. Who were the enemies? Some of the enemies were the Deccan Sultans. Yes, they were attacking the Vijayanagara oftenly. To the avenge, the Ramaraya captured Vijaypura. What areas he captured? This Ramaraya, Vijaypura. He captured the Golakonda in this war. And all the sultans united. So when he started conquering other places in the south area, what happened? The other sultans, the Muslim kings or the other sultans together, though they were enemies. Before they were enemies, enemies idru. But Sadashivaraya, when he came, so they all united. ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಕೂಡಿ ಒಂದಾಗಿ ಏನಾದರೂ ಸದಾಶಿವರಾಯ ಮೇಲೆ ವಿಜಯನಗರ ಎಂಪೈರ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡಕ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿದರು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದೇ ಫೆಲ್ಟ್ ಜೆಲಸಿ, ಅವರಿಗೆ ಏನು ಹೊಟ್ಟೆ ಕಿಚ್ಚಿತು, ಇವರೇನು ಎಂಪೈರ್ ಈಗ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತಾ ಹೊಂಟಾನ, ನಮ್ಮನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಸೋಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಒಂದು ಜೆಲಸಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹೇಟ್ರೆಟ್ ನಿಂತು ಅವರು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಟುಗೆದರ್ ಏನಾದರೂ ಯುನೈಟೆಡ್ ಆಗಿ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಈ ವಿಜಯನಗರ ಎಂಪೈರ್ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಬೆಳ್ಕೊತ ಹೋಗ್ತೈತಿ, ಹಂಗೆ ಅವರು ರಿಚ್ನೆಸ್, ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ದಿ ಎಸೆಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ರಿಚ್ನೆಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲನೂ ಬೆಳ್ಕೊತ ಹೊಂಟಿತ್ತು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆಲ್ಲನೂ ಜಲಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಟುಗೆದರ್ ಕೂಡಿ ಫೈಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು. ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ಅ ಪೊಲಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ದೆಮ್, but to defeat Vijayanagara, they united. On 23rd January 1565, the Rakkasa Tangadi war began between the united army of sultans and the army of Vijayanagara. So now the Rakkasa Tangadi, this war, when it began in 1565 AD, this war began. Yes, this began between whom? Between the Vijayanagara Empire and the sultans. All sultans together, they formed one army, and Vijayanagara king formed one army. And where was this army of Vijayanagara? On the bank of Krishna river, and Ramaraya died in the war. So in this difficult, tough battle, tough war, here what happened? Sadashivaraya died in this war. And what happened, because this Sadasivaraya, he was a responsible empire. When he died, the here the Achyutaraya, he was still young. So he was still young. So what happened? These sultans, they looted all the richness of the Vijayanagar empire. Ellen ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಈ ಕಿಂಗ್ಸ್, ಸುಲ್ತಾನ್ ಕಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಎಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ರಿಚ್ನೆಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಈ ವಿಜಯನಗರ ಎಂಪೈರ್ನ ಹಿಂದೆಲ್ಲ ರಿಚ್ನೆಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅವರು ಲೂಟಿ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಹೋದರು. ಎಸ್, ನಾವು ಲೇಟರ್ Vijayanagar, Tirumala and Venkata, son of Ramaraya. After this, the sons of Ramaraya, who were the sons? They were the Tirumala and the Venkata. They were sons of who escaped from the war, ran away to Penkonda. Later, Arvidu dynasty started ruling from 1570 to 1646. So what happened in this war? When Ramaraya died, his sons, the Tirumala and the Venkata, they escaped. They ran away from the battle and they again formed a new dynasty, new empire, that is the Arvidu dynasty. They started ruling from 1516 to 1570 to 1646. Yes, they started ruling. Who were they? They were Sadasivaraya's sons. They were Tirumala and Venkata. So they made a capital, Penukonda, as their capital. What was the capital here? The capital of this Arvidu dynasty was, what was it? The capital here? The capital of Arvidu dynasty was Penukonda. Yes, Penukonda. Later Chandragiri and later Velluru. After Penukonda, they changed their capital Chandragiri. Again they changed Vellore. By this war, feudal chiefs of Mysore, Keladi, Chitradurga, Yalanka and Surapura became independent rulers in Karnataka. So what he did, he divided the provinces and he gave into some chief head. ಈ ಏರಿಯಾಲ ನೀವು ಚೀಫ್ ಆಗಿ ನೀವು ರೂಲ್ ಮಾಡಿರಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕಿಂಗ್ಡಮ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ದ, ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ದ. ಅವಾಗ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ರೂಲರ್ಸ್ ಅವ್ರವ್ರ ಕಿಂಗ್ಡಮ್ನ ರೂಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತ ಬಂದರು. Next page. Now cultural contribution of Vijayanagar Empire. What is the Vijayanagar Empire? What they contributed to the society, what they contributed to that period. In that period, what they did, what cultural things they did. Let us see. Administration. Let us know about the administration. How ಆಡಳಿತ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ವಿಜಯನಗರ ಎಂಪೈರ್ನಾಗ, ಆಡಳಿತ ಯಾರು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಯಾರು ಪವರ್ಫುಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಯಾರು ಟ್ಯಾಲೆಂಟೆಡ್ ಇದ್ರು, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ ಈ ಅಡ್ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನಾಗ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತದೆ. Administration. Vijayanagar Empire had a strong central administration and it is adopted decentralized administration system. In this administration, there were many ministers to assist the king as the leaders and local provinces. So what happened? Like how India is ruled by two governments, like the central government and the state government. In the times of Vijayanagar Empire also, it was decentralized. Means all the authority was in the hands of the king, and he divided the small provinces and made a chief, and he ruled the kingdom. And he did a very good administration. He decentralized the administration. Decentralization ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಒಬ್ಬೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಏರಿಯಾ ಹಂಚ್ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಅವರಿಗೆ ರೂಲ್ ಮಾಡಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಅದರದ್ದು ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೊಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ದಿ ಡಿಸೆಂಟ್ರಲೈಸೇಷನ್. ಸೊ ಲೈಕ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ದೇ ರೂಲ್ ದಿ Vijayanagar Empire. For the administration purpose, kingdom was divided into so many provinces. ಸಣ್ಣ ಭಾಗ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದನ್ನ ರೂಲ್ ಮಾಡಾಕ ಚೀಫ್ ಕೈಯಾಗ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು. King's representatives were managing the provinces and hereditary officers were managing the village administration. So the king gave the responsibilities to the so many other chiefs, and in the village level the hereditary ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, ಪಂಚಾಯತಿ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ನ ವಿಲೇಜ್ ನಾಗ ಪಂಚಾಯತಿ ಹೆಡ್ ಯಾರಿರ್ತಾರ ಅವರು ಅಲ್ಲಿದೆಲ್ಲ ಆಡಳಿತ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂತ ಬಂದಿದ್ರು. Yes, the king was the supreme. On the whole, who was the supreme? The king only was the supreme head of the empire. Regional officers were dispensing justice to the provinces. 1/6 of the land revenue was collected out of. They did very good administration, and they assisted the king because the king was the supreme head of the kingdom. So here what happened? Here the income. What was the income of that kingdom? Yes, the tax. The tax they pay was the income for the king. How much tax they paid? Yeah, it was not very much, but it was very least. 1/6 part means ನೀವು ಬೆಳೆ ಬೆಳೆದಿದ್ರಾಗ 1/6 ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ನೀವು ಅದು ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ರೂಪವಾಗಿ ಕಿಂಗಿಗೆ ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು ಇನ್ ದ ವೇ ಆಫ್ ರೆವೆನ್ಯೂ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್. It was the major income and trade tax, professional tax, road tax, fair tax, export tax and tributaries in cash were other incomes also. And on the land they have to pay 1/6 and other taxes like if you want to do business or if you want to do trade, on that you have to pay tax. Like that you have to pay export tax. If you want to export the goods from here to other country or other places, you have to pay export tax. Like that other road tax, these all are the other tax include also was an income to that empire. Now, during the region of Vijayanagar, infantries, cavalries, elephants and cannons administration were prominent divisions in the army. So, when their army was very big, they had very good equipments in the army like infantry, cavalry and elephants and cannons. These were the army of the empire. Arabian horses were very attractive in Vijayanagar and a special type of horse. It is a very fast running horse. That horse was called the Arabian horses. They were there in this Vijayanagar empire. Now social status. Let us talk about the social status. Means it is the dignity of a person. It's called the social status. So social status during the period of Vijayanagar, the child marriage, sati and devadasi system were in practice. So that time what happened? The sati. What you say? Sati, child marriage, all things you have learned in your SST in your 4th and 5th classes. Yes, sati means early marriage to a old person, and child marriage means below they are 7 or 8 years they were married, or in a very early age also they were married. That was child marriage. And devadasi system means they are married to the god. That type of systems were in practice in that time in that Vijayanagar empire. And also monogamy was also in rich people, and also they were kings were following polygamy. So monogamy means only married one time is called monogamy. People, rich people, they were practiced, they were only married one time, but king, he had an opportunity or he married two or three marriages. Yes, women were respected in that type of in Vijayanagar empire. Yeah, women were respected, and the famous festivals were the Deepavali and the Dasara. Yes, Dasara Utsav was very grandly celebrated even in the times of Vijayanagar empire. So it is a tradition from that time, that Dasara Utsav till today we are celebrating in a very grandly, and it is also called the state festival. Yes, now economic status. Now what after the social status? Now economic status. Economic status, agriculture was the main occupation. Economic ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ದು ಒಂದು ಇನ್ಕಮ್, ಸೊಸೈಟಿ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಆಗಲಿ, ಕಂಟ್ರಿ ಇನ್ಕಮ್, ಎಂಪೈರ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಅವರು ಏನು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರು, ಆಕ್ಯುಪೇಷನ್ ಏನಿತ್ತು, ಏನೇನು ಬೆಳೆ ಬೆಳೀತಿದ್ರು. ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದಿ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟಸ್. ಸೊ ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರ್ ವಾಸ್ ದ ಮೇನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟಸ್ ಆಕ್ಯುಪೇಷನ್. Rice, maize, sugarcane, cotton crops were the major crops. What were the crops here? The rice, maize and the sugarcane, cotton, these were the major crops of Vijayanagar empire. So kings of Vijayanagar encouraged agriculture. They also, king, he gave much preference to agriculture, and he built many tanks and wells to facilitate for agriculture. They had trade links with other countries. Yes, that time also they had trade with other countries. Means ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬೆಳೆದಿದ್ದು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೊಡೋದು, ಅವ್ರ ಕಡೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬೆಳೆದಿದ್ದು ನಮ್ಮ ಕಡೆ ಇರಲಾರ್ದು ನಾವು ಅವ್ರ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟು ಇಂಪೋರ್ಟು ಮಾಡೋದು. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ದಿ ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ವಿತ್ ಅದರ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೀಸ್. ಲೈಕ್ ರೈಸ್, ಕಾಟನ್, ಕ್ಲೋತ್ಸ್, iron and diamond, sugar, musk, sandal and spices were exported. So ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಡೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬೆಳೆದು ಯಾವ ರೈಸ್, ಶುಗರ್, ಕಾಟನ್, ಮಸ್ಕ್, ಸ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್, ಸ್ಪೈಸಸ್, ಮಸಾಲೆ ಸಾಮಾನು ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬೆಳೀತಿದ್ರು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವನ್ನೆಲ್ಲನೂ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರು. ಹಾರ್ಸಸ್, ಸಿಲ್ಕ್ ಕ್ಲಾತ್, ಮಕ್ಮಲ್ ಕ್ಲಾತ್ ವೇರ್ ಇಂಪೋರ್ಟೆಡ್. ಸೊ ಹಾರ್ಸಸ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಡೆ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ರನ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಹಾರ್ಸಸ್ ಇದ್ದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ವಿಜಯನಗರ ಎಂಪೈರ್ನಾಗ ಆ ಟೈಮಿಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಹಾರ್ಸಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ಅರೇಬಿಯನ್ ಕಂಟ್ರಿಯಿಂದ ಹಾರ್ಸಸ್ ತೊಗೊಂಬರ್ತಿದ್ರು. ಸಿಲ್ಕ್ ಕ್ಲೋತ್ಸ್, ಮಕ್ಮಲ್ ಕ್ಲೋತ್ಸ್ ಇವೆಲ್ಲನ ಇಂಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತಿದ್ರು. So Vijayanagar was the international business center for diamonds. Yes, this period, that time, and Vijayanagar empire, they made a good business of diamonds. This empire was a center for diamond business. Cloth weaving was important industries. Batkala, Honnavara, Mangaluru, and were the important ports in that time. Okay, what were the cloth weaving also was done in that empire. Yes, these ports, seaports, means trade was trade was going on when ports are there. So in that area, Vijayanagar Empire, what were the ports there? Batkala, Honnavara, these are the seaports from where trade outside people could bring their trade, come to trade with us, and we could go out to trade from the sea route. So golden coins were in use. So as I told you in the first part, yeah, there was a varaha. Varaha means it is a coin. Coin of which type of coin? It was a gold coin they used for doing business. Yes. And the gold coin were in use, and pictures of god and goddesses were attached to these coins. So on that coins, what were they? What was shown on that coins? The pictures of god and goddess were there on that coins. Now we can see our national leaders' faces on that coins. But in that time they put the gods or goddess picture on the coins. Yes. Now literature. Yes. What writings? What are script? Which script they used? What type of books they wrote? And on praising whom they have written the literature, let us see now. During the region of Vijayanagar, literature of Sanskrit, Telugu and Kannada developed immensely. So in Vijayanagar Empire, he did not discourage any language. There were many poets of different languages, and also they practiced so many religions in that country. Yes, they were Jains, they were Hindus, Muslims, they all practice their religion. So here he has given importance to Telugu and Kannada poets also. Yes, the poets wrote so many poems in these three languages. The Vidyaranya wrote books like Shankara Vijaya and Sarvadarshana Sangraha in Sanskrit. His brother Sayanacharya also wrote called the Vedartha Prakasha and the Ayurveda Sudhanidhi. The king of and their families members also created sufficient literature. Among them, the Ganga Devi wrote Madhura Vijaya. Yes, Ganga Devi, she was a prince. Yes, she wrote a good book, Madhura Vijaya. And Prouda Devaraya wrote great drama called the Sudhanidhi. Krishna Devaraya wrote Jambavati Kalyana, the Madalasa Charitram, and Rasamanjari, Kavya Vyasa, the Gadugina Bharata, Ratnakara Varni, Bharateshwara Vaibhava. These are the books written in that period in the Vijayanagar Empire. Yes, the Prabhulinga Leela with significant literature words in Kannada. So the Lakkanna, the Shiva Tattva, Chintamani, Bhima, poets of Basava Purana were contributed to the Veerashaiva literature. So in the period of Vijayanagar Empire also, there was preference given to the Basava Puranas, and they also wrote some literature works on the Veerashaiva literature. Now next, the Krishna Devaraya encouraged Telugu literature because of this. He got a title Andhra Bhoja. So in that kingdom, they were the kings of people of Kannada, Telugu and Tamil. So he was given a title by the Andhra people or the Telugu speaking people that he was a Andhra Bhoja. What was the title given by them? Andhra Bhoja. He himself was a poet, and he wrote Amukta Malayada in Telugu. He also wrote a book in Telugu that is called the Amukta Malayada in Telugu. There were 8 famous scholars called the Diggajaru in this kingdom, Krishna Devaraya's kingdom. There were 8 scholars. ಅಂದರೆ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಇದ್ರಾಗ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಪಾಂಡಿತ್ಯ ಇತ್ತು ಅವ್ರದ್ದು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಸ್ಕಾಲರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೆದ್ರು. ಮತ್ತು ಅವ್ರು ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡಿಸಿ ಏನಂತ ಕರೆದ್ರು? ಅಷ್ಟ ದಿಗ್ಗಜರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿನೂ ಕರೆದ್ರು. ಯಾರ ಇದ್ರು ನೋಡು? ಅಲ್ಲಸಾನಿ ಪೆದ್ದಣ್ಣ, ತೆನಾಲಿ, ನಂದಿ ತಿಮ್ಮಣ್ಣ, ಶ್ರೀನಾಥ, ಪೆಂಗಳಿ ಸೂರಣ್ಣ, Tenali Ramakrishna. You have heard about Tenali Ramakrishna also, no? So these people were there in the Vijayanagar Empire. Yes. Now, next, religious harmony. As I told you, he had followed many religions and he also allowed them to build their own temples. Temples, Jain temples, mosque and whatever it is. They have, there was no religious difference in that period. Yes. Kings of Vijayanagara kingdom were great followers of religious tolerance. They built mosque in their capital. Bukkaraya solved the problem between Jains and Vaishnavas. So there was some problem between the Jains and the Vaishnavas. This problem was solved by the Bukkaraya in the period of Vijayanagara Empire, and it is known by the Shravana Belgulu. When the problem was solved, they had given the permission for them to build that Shravana Belgulu. Yes, that statue. Yes, he was inscription in 1368 CE. The Barbosa, who visited Vijayanagara during the region of Krishnadevara, started in that and Christian, Jew, Muslim, Hindu, or a person of any religion can live happily in Vijayanagara kingdom because these kings were respected by all. So here the visitors, the foreigners who came to India, they have praised our empire, Vijayanagara empire, saying that any religious person can live happily in this Vijayanagara empire. Art and sculpture. What have they have done for the in the field of art and sculpture? Yes, what have they done? You can see here the Hajar Ramaswamy temple in Hampi, which is famous and which can be seen today also, and the Virupakshi temple in the Vidyashankar temple in Sringeri. These are the works of Vijayanagara empire. We also can now view on these areas even today also. Yes, art and sculpture. Great historians, the Percy Brown, on observing the temple, monuments and sculpture stated that art and sculpture of Vijayanagara was the evolutionary form of Dravidian style. Which style they have built their temples? They have built their temples in the Dravidian style. Yes, the temples of that period were built with strong granite. How they were built? Yes, today also we can see them. Still now they are also strong. With what type of stone they have constructed that temples? They have constructed by the granite rocks. The Kalyana Mandapa of Virupakshi temple in Hampi, Hazar Swami temple, the Vittala Swami temple, the Krishna Swami temple, the Kamala Mahal, Sringeri, Vaidyashankar temple are some important temples were built during the period of very spacious. Yes, they have built so many marriage halls and also temples which are very spacious. Yes. Encloses high tower, and they are also with high tower. The gali space, gali adaku udda tower naga or built made. Very wide marriage halls, meeting halls, spring pavilions were the features of the temples of Vijayanagara period. Yes, the Kalahasti, the Srishaila, the Tirupati, the Chidambaram, the Srirangam, the Kumbakolam, the Kanchi are the other places also. We can see even in these places also, in Kanchi, in this Srirangam, in the Tirupati, you can see all the sculptures, the art and architectures of that people done in that period. Yes. The Lipakshi temple. Even now also we can see that Lipakshi temple. Lipakshi temple, which was called as the Shiva's Ajanta, had sketched of the Shiva Purana of Vijayanagara period. On the roof of this Virupakshi temple, marriage halls, scenes of Dashawataras of Girija Kalyanam were carved. So we can see the Dashawataram of Girija Kalyanam. Girija means here you can say she is a goddess Parvati. How her marriage was performed is being so nicely carved on that walls of the Devasthan. Yes, stone chariot idol of Narasimha Swami, the Ganapati illustration of monolithic stone sculptures of Vijayanagara region, the Dakshina Nadi music which is introduced now as Karnataka music. So these all stone chariot in Hampi, yes, and the idols of Narasimha and the Ganapati idols, these all idols were of that period only, sculptured on that in the Vijayanagara period. Yes, how have reached the common people? Purandar and these all things what have happened in the Vijayanagara Empire, they were sung by the Purandar Dasa and the Kanaka Dasa in their songs. We can know about that Vijayanagara Empire in these people, Purandar Dasa and in the Kanaka Dasa songs. Yes. Yeah, you can see here the Ganapati, the Hampi, and the idol of Narsimha in Hampi, the stone chariot. But these all statues and things, monolithic sculptures. Now they have been damaged by some of the other kings who have come after Vijayanagar Empire. Yes. Now I have finished the lesson. Now I ask you to read this lesson once again and note down this chronological here. What time, which CE? Yes, what happened? Who was ruling Vijayanagar kingdom 1336 to 1565? Which dynasty, when they ruled? These all things you note down and you write these, fill the blanks. Search the question, fill the blanks, answers, and try to answer the question answers. I will send you the keynotes for you. Okay, children? Thank you.